Well, good afternoon everybody, my name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you for the third of this week's reviews. I managed to get Tenerife in, which I didn't do last week, so this is actually the second of this week's scheduled reviews. We're back in the African continent. We're in Tunisia. We're actually on an island off the coast of Tunisia, and this is Djerba Airport in Tunisia, Delta Tango Tango Juliet. This is a payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, Fsdg, well-known developer, and we're looking at version 1, the release version for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. Downloads at 1.1 gigabytes and it installs at 1.21 gigs. It's available currently from Sim Market and also from the Fsdg online store. I'll give you the Sim Market price. Currently €18.14, which equates to $19.36 US or £15.82 UK. US and UK prices are all estimates from the euro, and they do include tax or VAT, which may vary depending on your country of purchase. So let's look at the list of features. We have accurate and realistic rendition of Zerxis International Airport in Djerba, Tunisia, Delta Tango Tango Juliet. Authentic light environment. Flight Simulator 2020 technologies, and they include dynamic lighting, reflective textures, animated jetways. Optimized for great performance and visual results. Compatible with all known add-ons including GXX. And a manual is included. It's one of the few developers who actually does include a manual with their sceneries to give you information that you might actually have to otherwise search for yourself. As you can see from this high level shot, the scenery is really quite nice and fits in quite well with the default terrain. Anyway, to start with, let's give you some history. Djerba Zerxis International Airport, Delta Tango Tango Juliet, is an international airport owned and operated by the Tunisian Civil Aviation and Airport Authority and serves the island of Djerba in Tunisia. The airport began operations in 1970 and today is an important destination for seasonal leisure flights. Located in the Gulf of Gabes, off the coast of Tunisia, Djerba is not only the largest island off the North African coast, but also a popular destination for tourists, scuba divers and water sports enthusiasts. Being just over 193 square miles or 500 square kilometers in size, tourists have a very short travel distance from the airport to their hotel after landing at the only airport on the island. Together with the airport ENFIDHA-HAMMAMET Delta Tango November Hotel, Djerba is amongst the main tourist hubs in North Africa. Interesting fact, the airport was a stopover for an Air Berlin charter flight Alpha Bravo 7377, which was involved in a bomb scare. During loading at Hosea Kutato International Airport in Namibia, a suitcase was discovered that contained a clock, batteries and a firing mechanism. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that the object was part of a test to assess the quality of the airport screening procedures. The A330-200 aircraft was examined with an explosive sniff dog before it was allowed to fly to Munich Airport via a stopover in Djerba. So there you are, a brief history. Quite an important airport here, located on an island that's actually part of Tunisia, and it's had its fair share of little interesting situations. But it's quite a detailed scenery and it sits in quite a powerful area in this part of Africa. Yet another African scenery which is really impressive. So let's talk runways. So runways, as you can see, we've lowered the lighting again. It's going very close to sunset now. Djerba operates a single runway 0927 measuring 10,210 feet or 3,112 meters and is constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 20 feet or 7 meters and sits in the GMT UTC plus 1 hour time zone. Now, Tunisia does not observe daylight saving time or DST, and so as the UK is currently on British summer time, 1 hour ahead of GMT, Djerba is on the same time as the UK currently. So runway 09, and we're looking down the throat of it now, features high-intensity runway lighting, high-intensity airfield lighting system and precision approach path indicators on the left side, and you can see that there. It also has the lead-in light system, which is on the chart, and again here is in the scenery. This runway has a standard instrument landing system with X, Y and Z options, and you also have VOR approach options to this runway as well. So as you can see, pretty much everything as per here, and the charts including the approach lights. Let's go have a look at the other end, runway 27. So here we are looking at the other end, runway 27, directly into the setting sun. What a nice view there. So runway 27 features high intensity runway lighting and the precision approach path indicators on the left side. And as you can see, that's absolutely correct. Now there are VOR approach options Z and Y only on this runway. Important to note that Djerba operates a preferential runway system where runway 09 is normally used for landings and runway 27 is used for takeoffs, subject to no compromise conditions. So basically you'd be taxiing down here, turning around here for takeoffs, but you'd be coming in that way. So again, as per the charts, there are no lead-in lights at this end of the runway, and the charts correct that too. You got the high intensity runway lighting and the precision approach path indicators on the left, so all as per. So that about does it for runways. Let's do jetways. Okay, jetway test. So here we are on stand Tango 3. Here's my aircraft. We've already opened the door, and let's check the jetway out. Quite a nice animation, and again you can see the stairwell has gone right down into the concrete here, unfortunately. Wheels look good. Goes up to the aircraft, and the cover looks pretty good. So let's have a close look at the wheels and the stairway first. So there, unfortunately, that's probably the worst case of a stairwell going into the concrete. It really has gone right down in there. I really don't quite understand why they can't be hinged here or something, but anyway, we'll ignore that for a moment. Let's have a look at the doorway fit. So that's not a bad fit at all. Actually, the jetway hood doesn't seem to have gone through the aircraft skin that much. Looks pretty good from this angle. And looking from this angle, okay, you see a slight gap at the top, but the fit looks to be pretty good. Let's have a look inside if we can. So here we are inside the doorway, and as you can see, the fit isn't too bad at all. Okay, it has gone through the skin here. And there's a gap at the top, but it's not bad. It's no worse than any other fit that I've seen, and the doorway actually is quite clear as well. And there we are looking out from inside the aircraft. Okay, let's retract the jetway. Once again, the overhead hood springs back. And here you can see the stairs actually begin to rise out of the concrete. But the wheels move, the animation's pretty good actually, and at least the door of the jetway fits pretty well. So that does it for jetway. Let's go and have a look at the main tour of the airport now. Okay folks, Djerba, the main tour. Before we start the airside tour like I normally do, I thought we'd come right out here to the approach runway 09, which is the landing runway under their preferential runway system. And as you can see, we've got some nice terrain, and we've got some boats and things that you will pass over as you come in to land. So just thought we'd have a quick look and show you that. And just a closer look there. Very nice indeed. So as we come over the airside fence, you can see the ground terrain's not too bad actually. We're quite low, and the resolution is quite low, but it's not bad at all. And you've got vehicles on the main highway to the right. Here we are coming across runway 09 threshold. And all looks good. It's nicely tarnished by the sun. And there you can see the signage as well, and the ILS system there to the left. It all looks pretty good. Nothing unusual to be found. All of the markings that you would expect to have. So let's start an airside tour of the main ramp. Okay, so it's all a bit square, kind of cuts into the terrain, but I'm not going to worry about that. Here's the main airside ramp. There's my aircraft on Tango 3. And the building looks really nice. It's all true to life, as I've seen in my research. It looks very nice indeed. There's the control tower. And as you can see, the building's really quite nicely done. Now we've got a second tower here, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it was the old one. We'll have a quick look. Yeah, no internal development in either of the towers. And we continue along the stands. Yeah, you know, the modelling is quite nice. There's the fire station with the fire tower on top. I assume this is some catering or freight. It's catering, I believe. It's unfortunate there, the sign on the building is completely unreadable, unfortunately. But no, everything else is fine. It's really nice. There's the fuel farm in the distance. And as you can see, the stand areas, taxiways, all looks pretty good. So as we cross the land side, there's the fuel farm. We'll just stop here for a moment. There you can see the access gate with the security control barrier. Obviously, I should imagine this part of the world, fuel is quite sought after commodity, and they want to make sure nobody gets in and nicks it. So you've got, instead of the normal required fence line that I talk about in some of the other movies, here you've got concrete fence with razor wire, fully controlled razor wire on the top, all the way around, protecting this facility. So it's all nicely done, pretty realistic. I suppose really the only drawback is that the ground resolution is quite low, and so it doesn't quite work from this height. But the higher you go, the better it seems to work. But the building modelling is nice. There you've got I think telephone or power cables. And yeah, I mean, you know, it's great. It's quite nicely done. It's quite a lot of detail. So landside, there's the covered car park, another security gate there. Parallaxing on the windows, no internal modelling in the building, unfortunately. Got the obligatory taxis. And there you got some signage on the outside of the building, most of which is readable, which is cool. And a very nicely modelled building. Very nice indeed. We just come away a little bit. So if I again go a little closer, you can see the parallaxing. It's more than, it's kind of the same image on almost every window. It works, again, it works from further away. So just a quick pan across the car park here. Again, nicely done. This has been sort of, this is much better modelled in 3D. It's I'm sort of glad they haven't left it to photo scenery. The roads are excellent. Everything down to the light poles there. And the foliage all looks very believable and realistic, which is great. And here we go out towards the airport entrance. You know, again, you've got the cars all nicely placed in their parking positions, no problems with that. There's a central roundabout with lots of foliage on it. And yeah, probably this is my only real gripe. They haven't really completed it. They've got out to the roundabout and the rest of it's been left, which is a pity. You'd like to see a bit more done. So that was a quick daytime tour from airside right across the field there and to landside. We've had a look at most things. Again, as I said, no internal modelling done in the building, so that's why I didn't go inside. But you can see from this high level shot, I mean, it looks great. And of course, the higher you go, the better the low res terrain looks. There's quite a bit that really hasn't been done here. I mean, here we've got the airport itself has been done here, but they've left the additional roads out here to low terrain, particularly the entrance road. Would have been nice to see this done a little bit in 3D res like it's done here. Airside road looks good. As I said, no modelling in either of the towers there. But yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. So let's drop the lighting down to dusk and see if there's an improvement. So this is what I really wanted to show you. Turn the lighting down to dusk. There's the sun sinking in the west there. And all of a sudden the airport comes alive a bit. Now that parallaxing or bits and pieces on the windows of the terminal and various other bits all of a sudden start to sort of come to life. And again, you've got the lighting here going out to the main road. And looking towards the threshold of runway 27, which is out here, again you've got these high lighting stands. All of the stand areas are quite well lit. Not much lighting, if any, of course, on the fuel farm. One or two lamps here and there, but nothing really to write home about. So let's do another airside ramp tour at dusk. So we'll start with the runway turning area there, the threshold of 27. You can see the runway looks fine. Everything looks good. And we've got signage as well and blue airfield edge lights. So to guide you on and off the runway. Just a quick look at the entry signs, taxiway Delta and the signs denoting the runway, all as it should be. So coming off taxiway Delta, this is the furthest eastern end of the field. And it looks fine, to be honest. It looks, it looks okay. There's the fire station. The lighting's quite subtle. You've got this yellow glow because some of these lights are tungsten. A little bit of effect there on one of the two towers and on the other tower, but again, now you can see the building is coming to life a bit more. Definitely looks better at dusk, this airport. Let's go a little closer. So it looks fine. It really does look a lot better the way it's been lit, which is good. As you can see, ground signage is good, all nice and clear, and it's been properly done. As we look out there towards the threshold of runway 09, which is the landing runway, you can see plenty of taxiway signage, just indeed as it should be. So let's hop across to landside, have a look at the car park and the building from the other side. We'll start with a little car park tour. Again, you can see the windows really do come to life on the buildings. And this is one of the things I like about this scenery. They've got all of the individual car park lights that switch on and it looks really pleasant. It looks very nice indeed. So as we come to the landside road to have a look at the terminal proper, I mean, you can see it really does come to life a bit more now. I do like these little lights, so they look good. Okay, so you can see repetition on the parallaxing, but it really does come to life. It makes the terminal a little bit better than it might otherwise be. Not the greatest modelling in the world. The modelling of the building looks better in the day, but it actually looks kind of much more alive in the darkness hours. And here you've got the road that goes out towards the roundabout and the exit out of the airport. It looks nice, it looks very nice, and you've got some lighting there out of the road towards landside, mostly by Osobo globes here floating around. Here's one of them. It would have been nice to have this road 3D modelled and developed a bit more, because it's the main entrance to the airport, first thing that people will see driving in here. So there's a high level shot from landside showing you the lighting. It looks great. It really brings the airport to life. So a couple of quick shots airside on the ramp. As you can see, plenty of lighting. You're not going to have any trouble parking here, and the terminal really does come to life. It's lovely. It's great. Dusk lighting certainly really improves the airport modelling and everything. It just makes it a little bit more, just a little more ambience. It just looks better. And they're looking at the other stands, and they've got the control tower there. It looks great. It's lovely. Okay, whop it down to night time now. Okay, 10 PM local time, and there you go. The lighting has come up. The parking areas are all beautifully lit up. You've got your blue airfield edge lights. Nighttime and dusk, the airport looks wonderful. During the day, it's not as good as, or doesn't look as good as it could be. Certainly, it's such an improvement during the night time. And they're looking down the runway towards the threshold of 27. There you can see the lighting. Well, you're not going to have any trouble landing and taxiing around at night. It all looks pretty good here. And there's the landing runway 09 threshold in the distance. And again, a couple of quick close-up shots airside of the ramp so you can see what it looks like. There's the building close up, airside, arrival area. It looks fine, looks perfectly acceptable. And a quick view down the airside road there. So another shot landside at night time. Again, the building has really come up brightness, and I really do like these little lamps. They look great. And the other end of the building, and there you've got taxis parked up. It all looks good, it's fine. And a quick look across the main landside car park. It's excellent. It's really, really nice. So here's the main roundabout landside. You've got lighting there, and it's only, as I said, when you go the other side of it you start to get the globes, because it's not been completed. And there's a high level shot showing you across the other areas of the stands. You can also see from this view, here's the fuel farm that was so heavily protected, and you've got no lighting at all. And again, I suspect that is because they don't really want people going in there. But it's weird really. I mean, normally you would light it because you have video cameras and stuff like that. But no, they've chosen not to add any lighting to the fuel farm area. But the rest of it looks great. So let's bring up the dawn. Okay, 16 minutes past 6 in the morning. Here we are looking looking towards the west. Just wanted you to see the lovely red glow on the buildings as the sun comes up. There's the sun rising in the distance. Here you've got the additional airside stands, and here is the fuel farm. Again, still no lighting or anything around it, but that's fair enough. And lastly, just an overview looking towards the looking towards the eastern end. It looks fine. You know, at dusk and night time and early dawn, it looks really nice. Okay, 8 AM in the morning, and time to give you my thoughts and conclusions. Do I like it? Yes, I do. It's fine. It's to be honest, it's quite a large download for considering they've not. There's quite a few bits that they've not done. It's possible that they've included some of the photo terrain here. Not entirely sure. Doesn't mention it in the features list, but usually this is a sort of thing that really increases the file size. So as I say, download at just over a gig. But other than that, you know, it looks fine. Do I think it's worth €18? I think it's a little on the expensive side, given that there's no terminal or there's no internal development in any of the buildings. The parallaxing is questionable. I mean, it works at dusk and night time. It really sort of brings the airport to life, but it's not been, I wouldn't say it's the best in the world. It's very repetitive. And also they've they've not gone that very far outside the airport. You've got the roundabout that is the approach to the airport, and the road that leads into the roundabout is not even been looked at. So I mean, it's a minimal effort. It's a good effort. The modelling quality is good. Weathering on the buildings look really good, and the models are fine. And for the pilots among you, you've got a really nice airport, highly detailed, everything down to the rubber marks on the runway here, and the apron. Everything works, and it all looks good. The jetways are good, and the standard modelling is excellent. Can't argue with that at all. I just think that they've gone as far as they want to, and they don't want to go any more, which is a real pity, because I don't think it brings the price worth it. I think it's worth nearer €15, not 18. But that's just my opinion. See what you think. But there's no getting away from it that it's a nice scenery, and potentially it's the best one out there at the moment, I believe. It's very nice indeed. And other little things as well. One of the few things that the Fsdg do that so many others don't do, they include a manual. So for new people wanting to set up scenery and do this, and it's to have some kind of manual included is a real plus. So kudos to them for that. I think that's great. And to make it compatible with all add-ons as well, that's not an easy job too. So maybe that was one of the things that featured when they were developing this. They wanted to go just far enough so that other additional add-ons that people normally use wouldn't interfere with the modelling. Not making excuses for them, but those are just my thoughts. But I still think it's about €3 too expensive. But other than that, for me, this is the best version out there. I flew in here the other day, no problems with the runway, no bumps on the taxiways, and visually looks great. It really does. So there you go, folks. Djerba Airport in Tunisia, Delta Tango Tango Juliet. It's on the island of Djerba, just off the coast. It's a payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, better known as Fsdg, and you're looking at version 1, which is the release version for Flight Sim 2020. Download at 1.1 gig and installs at 1.21 gig. It's available from both Sim Market and Fsdg's online store. Give you the Sim Market prices because they include VAT. €18.14, which equates to $19.36 US, or £15.82 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are all estimates of the euro, and they do include tax or VAT, which may vary depending on your country of purchase. So a really nice airport, nicely modelled, perfectly acceptable for Flight Sim 2020, and it meets the standards that we so often looking for. I just think it's slightly overpriced, and if I'm honest, I'd like to have seen a little bit more done. The parallaxing on the windows brings the airport to life at night during the darkness hours, but it's very repetitive, and it's not the kind of parallaxing that we've seen on many of the really good sceneries. And I'd like to see the entrance into the airport developed a bit more. Other than that, airside, from a pilot's point of view, everything you need is there, and as you park up, it's going to look great. It really is. And before we go, a quick look from the cockpit. When you park up, this is what you're going to see. Yeah, it looks fine. It really does look good. View through the captain's window, and a view across from the first officer's window. So there you go, folks. Thanks for joining me. If you've been on the fence about this and wondering whether it's worth buying or not, if you want this airport and you fly into Tunisia quite a lot, yes, it's a must-have. It's the best version out there so far. Not sure if there's one on flightsim.to or freeware, but it's nice. There's lots of good modelling from a pilot's point of view. Everything you need is there, and it works all as per the charts. No real complaints. I just think it's a little overpriced. But if you want it, yeah, fine. And remember, the prices I've quoted from SimMarket, they do include VAT. So thank you for joining me, folks. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, wrapping up another review. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to try and get a helicopter flight out over the weekend, done over the weekend, and I'll try and get that video out next week. We're going to look at various bits and pieces in Monument Valley, and that should be quite nice now that the Americans have upgraded their scenery, and there's one or two add-ons I want to look at that should make for a really nice little helicopter tour. So that's coming next week. Hopefully I'll be doing that, flying that this week, this weekend, I hope. So thank you very much, guys. I will see you next week in the next reviews. Take care, and bye bye for now.